Well, 60 seconds isn't really enough time for a plant check-in, but we ended on 6 leaves over here and will be bacon. The rosebush has been doing all right. It looks like it's bouncing back. No bugs still, and I think whatever's been eating the leaves stopped because some of the newer leaves just aren't getting that damaged. There's a couple holes, but not many. So, fingers crossed that little bush is bouncing back. And Tatsoy Mustard has all of these new shoots coming up with their own seed pods. It's really strange to me that we had these two happen first. And then all of a sudden, everything else bursted forth. So interesting. It's kind of cool to see all of the like gnarled purple roots. Like these are clearly older shoots that just brought new growth. Very interesting. And then we've got new growth coming up here. It looks like this part of the rosebush is about to branch. We've gotten a couple other little leafy areas, but most of the bottom sticks died off, including this tall one here. But these 1, 2, 3, 4 down at the bottom, those are looking good. And we had one try to branch out here, but it may or may not survive. It looks like it could be working on new growth now. And up at the top, same deal. All the bottom leaves are pretty eaten up. All the top leaves are looking pretty good. So it may have been a difficult period of time for our little rose bushes, but I think they are going to pull through. And that willow tree, those vines weren't hanging so low before. They're actually almost hitting the ground. That's so cool. Willow's still on my list. I'm gonna get me a willow tree one of these days. And all these baby arugulas, they're a little bit close together, but they're looking good. And they popped up absolutely everywhere. I'm still pulling maples out of everything. And the baby kiwis are getting even bigger. Oh man. And this one that was buried in the soil and unable to see the light for so long, every time we watered it would get buried again. It's finally found the strength to pop up above the soil. This one was low key. It had the hardest time, but it hung in there, you know? And this one, the reason why that part of that leaf got like, what's the right word? It disintegrated a little bit right there, but it was only because for a long period of time, this leaf was stuck to this leaf. They were folded in on each other, and because they're so fibrous, after a long period, they bonded together. And when they ripped apart, this one had a bunch of holes in it. It wasn't healthy for them to be that close for that long. They had to take a little bit of distance, a little bit of space. But this leaf is still alive, it's still thriving, and that plant is going to be okay. But boundaries were needed. And those two that were so closely bonded are the biggest and the strongest out of all of them. But I have a feeling this is going to wind up like my white oak, where we start off with a bunch and we wind up with one that's meant to be here. So I'm interested to see how they progress. This little maple, I don't really need him. I've got another pot just for maples, but nothing else is growing in here. So I'm either going to recycle the soil here, and I think what I might do is I might take the little holly here. I might take baby holly girl and put her in this pot. The one that matches the white oak pot. It's a little bit shallower, but that one never got attacked by the bunnies, so it might be okay. But I'm thinking about doing that and taking a couple experiment pots that don't have anything in them and just using the soil from those to fill up the extra space. And like this for example, this is just a weed. Like, yes, it's the yellow wildflowers and they're significant in their own right, but it is technically just a weed. I've got millions of them growing here. Look, more there, there. They're literally all over the yard. So even though this one's doing really well, I could pick a nice spot of ground and plant it, and then take the pot there too. And this one has a million things planted in it, but nothing's going on. You know, it's funny because I planted those apple seeds and fully expected them to sprout like the kiwis did. And they did not. What is meant to be will be. Bugs. And the mint and the basil. I don't know. It's really buggy today. I was thinking about coming out and doing gardening, but I'm being absolutely attacked by insects. The little flowers coming along, slowly but surely. And the squirrels got over here too. I planted this from a little clip I took from the neighbors, but I don't know what it is or even how it's going to do. It was really a whim, just plucking it one day. And look, this honeysuckle is finally starting to grow. I think what I might do, since I found out that if you plant honeysuckle or vines on trees, they can actually choke the life out of the tree. I'm thinking that I might just plant the honeysuckle around, like I'll keep it in pots, keep it contained, but I might let it grow around the fence line here. Because my sister really doesn't like the idea of a chain link fence. She never appreciated the way that chain links look. But there's something complicated about like the property lines that would like be a really intensive process in order to replace the fence. And she doesn't want to go through all that hassle. So I'm thinking if I just put a couple pots and let the honeysuckle grow around the chain links, then that could be an elegant solution that would cutify the fence. I brought it up to her, but I didn't have enough time to suss out her actual opinion on it. But we've only got it on the one side there. Like, technically all the chain link fencing is ours, but it's not visible really from that side of the house. It's really just here. So I think I'm gonna try and do that. But that little baby honeysuckle needs to finish growing first. These are future plans. I guess that's it. Everything else here is unchanged. The squirrels are literally getting into everything. I saw them playing over here earlier. I think I'm going to need to name the squirrels and come yell at them like I do Peter. What can you do? At least our garden area is popular. I feel like if the animals love it, then you know it's doing well. Alright. I need to go work out. Time to cut it off, Spirit. Is that a yes?